Business continuity planning is a disciplined process through which an organization prepares to maintain or rapidly restore critical functions during disruptive events. Its purpose is not merely to survive crisis, but to preserve institutional legitimacy, protect stakeholders, and reduce the magnitude of operational loss. A credible continuity plan begins with the recognition that disruption is not an exception to normal operations. It is a foreseeable condition that must be incorporated into managerial design. The first stage is risk identification. Leaders examine hazards that may interrupt operations, including cyberattacks, power failures, supply chain breakdowns, natural disasters, labor shortages, and public health emergencies. Each risk is evaluated according to likelihood and impact, not as an abstract possibility, but as a practical threat to specific business functions. This analysis reveals which processes are essential, which can be delayed, and which depend on fragile external partners. The second stage is business impact analysis. Here, the organization determines the consequences of interruption over time. A brief outage may be tolerable for one function, but catastrophic for another. Revenue loss, legal exposure, reputational decline, and customer attrition all accumulate differently depending on the duration of disruption. This assessment establishes recovery objectives, including the maximum acceptable downtime and the speed at which data or services must be restored. The third stage is strategy development. The organization designs methods to sustain operations under adverse conditions. These may include redundant technology systems, alternate work locations, remote access arrangements, backup suppliers, manual workarounds, and cross-trained personnel. A strong strategy does not rely on a single safeguard. Instead, it combines layered protections so that failure in one domain does not disable the entire enterprise. The fourth stage is documentation and communication. A continuity plan must be written clearly enough to guide action under stress, when judgment is impaired and time is limited. Responsibilities should be assigned in advance, escalation procedures should be explicit, and contact information should be continuously updated. A plan that is not communicated is effectively non-existent, because an emergency exposes not only technical weakness, but also organizational confusion. The fifth stage is training and testing. Continuity planning becomes meaningful only when the organization rehearses its response. Tabletop exercises, simulation drills, and scenario-based tests reveal hidden dependencies and procedural gaps. These exercises often expose an uncomfortable truth. The greatest vulnerability is not always the disruptive event itself, but the assumption that people will know what to do when routine systems fail. The final stage is maintenance and improvement. Continuity planning is a living process, not a static document. As technologies evolve, workforces change, and threats diversify, the plan must be revised accordingly. Lessons from incidents and exercises should inform updated controls and stronger recovery pathways. In this sense, business continuity planning is an exercise in organizational realism. It acknowledges fragility without surrendering to it, and it transforms uncertainty into a structured capacity for endurance.